What's up, folks? Stacy Huff right here with you. Fresh off the radio show. Just got finished talking about Geno Auriemma and his clownish behavior last night. By the way, Huff Nation Sports Zone radio show every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m., 100.7 FM, 1470 a.m. in the Midlands. In Orangeburg, Calhoun County is 92.9 ESPN radio and 1580 a.m. Down in Calhoun County as well. MakeThePointRadio.com online, and of course the podcast dropped this past week, so this will probably be posted to the YouTube channel as well. So support the YouTube channel at Huff Nation Sports 06. I'll send the link out. I'll put it on Facebook for you. Go and support. I'm trying to build a platform here that I can not only take it and make it run for myself, but actually give the template to young folks who want to get into journalism. Trying to show them how they can create their own platform and not have to wait for someone to hire them. So anyway, Geno Auriemma last night acting like an absolute clown. So what he doesn't want us to talk about, and I'm going to say this part first, Dawn Staley outcoached Geno Auriemma in the Final Four game. Shout out to the Gamecocks. The Gamecock women outplayed UConn Huskies, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't necessarily see that coming. I didn't necessarily, I would never bet a nickel against Dawn Staley in that program. They're too strong. I care about them too much, and I know what they're capable of. But I didn't think it would go the way it went, to be honest with you. Knew it would be a good game, and the way the games were officiated, all in the tournament, I didn't think it favored South Carolina because UConn played with a certain physicality that other teams weren't able to play with against them. So all that factored into my thinking. But back to the point. Here's what Geno doesn't want you to talk about. This is Dawn's greatest coaching job of her career, I believe. Transfer out, 2 rotation players, if not starters, in Kitts and Ashland, out for the year. Trying to bring in some transfers into the program to get them to gel. Brought a couple of freshmen in. They'd have to play a little bit in the rotation. A lot going on. I think it's Dawn's greatest coaching job ever. She should have been coach of the year. But from pillar to post, the better team won last night. Geno Auriemma, if you're not familiar with what happened, had a big temper tantrum after the game, saying that Dawn didn't shake his hand before the game, which video shows she did. Geno came out like a true punk in this episode. And Dawn Staley, by the way, making basketball great again. See what I did there? Dawn making basketball great again. Geno carried himself with a certain level of entitlement that we're seeing a lot in politics out in the world. A certain amount of entitlement. He wanted 2 handshakes, I guess, before the game, because he's Geno. He's supposed to run to me and shake my hand. But Dawn is on video shaking his hand before the game. After the game, he didn't want to shake hands. He walked off and left his team out there. During the game, he had he was cursing in the sideline interview, which I don't like sideline interviews. I think they're out of place. I don't think there's a place in sports for them. I wish they'd do away with them. And I'm a guy who formerly did sideline reporting. I've done sideline reporting for football and basketball. I don't think there's a place for it during the game. With coaches and athletes, you do a report, you update what's going on. Taking a coach away from his team, that's not good. But never mind that, Geno ranted and raved and was cursing and worrying about how Dawn talks to officials. There's too much video over 40 years of Geno Auriemma berating officials and throwing tantrums, and even when he wins games, he was doing that. So he has no right. So and UConn, the first half got the abundance of calls, by the way. Raven got 2 fouls really quick. They got 3. They called 3 fouls on George Edwards at one point in a minute and 33 seconds of game time. 3 fouls on George Edwards. All that to the corner. Geno's trying to obfuscate. He's trying to deflect away from what happened. He's created a narrative, and now we are talking a lot about Geno because the focus should be on the Gamecocks. Tonight, Latson had 16 and 11. Shout out to her for running into a program that goes to Final Fours and not out of a program that goes to Final Fours every year. Smart move by Latson. It worked out for the best, right? Great move by Latson. She ran into a program that goes to the Final Four. 6 straight Final Fours for Dawn Staley's team. 6 straight. 3rd straight championship game. Right back where we were last year. So whoever came and went out the program, we're right back where we were last year, right? That's another show for another day, right? I will have the conversation. I sure will. But Geno, the tantrum, he's going to taint his legacy with this. You can't wipe it away. His legacy is too good. I think the man has like 12 championships or something like that. I mean, he's had a great career, but he's going to change his legacy because this video is going to be played forever. Though he accosted Don. And what do you think? It was a racially? I think saying it was racial is too simple. It wasn't about that. He's a sore loser, and there's so many levels of being a sore loser. But the worst kind, in my opinion, has been a loud, obnoxious, finger pointing sore loser to say, "Hey, look over there." And let's not talk about me. Let's talk about it's the referees. It's the wind was blowing. It was raining, and they did. That's the worst kind. He's a loud, obnoxious, weak-looking, fragile-looking sore loser right now. And he's taking everything but saying the Gamecocks outplayed them. They outplayed them pillar to post. The powder puff schedule at UConn played had me fooled too, by the way. And I deal with sports a lot. A lot of us out here know sports. A lot of us, you listening right there too. We all know sports. But we got fooled because they looked so good against playing the Connecticut State School of Pastries and, the dental implant college down the road. I don't know who they played all year. It wasn't SEC caliber basketball. We learned that, right? And the masterclass of defense put on by the Gamecocks should be applauded. Shout out to, again, Latza 16 and 11 in the game, double-double. Had the first 4 points of the game for the Gamecocks. Had about 3 or 4 steals. George Edwards, by the way, it's going to be covered up by all the mess, became the all-time single-season scorer for the Gamecocks in program history. After her 7th point last night, or 6th point last night, took her past, I think, Asia Wilson for most points in a season by any Gamecock ever. And it may not even be Asia. I don't know who record she broke, but it was. I just saw it posted. That happened last night, and it's gonna be covered up by Gino and like a punk. Raven Johnson, the masterclass defensive job. They put her on Sarah Strong at one point. Raven's 5'9", right? 5'9". She goes down to the box and guards Sarah Strong, who's the National Player of the Year. Shout out to Sarah Strong for Player of the Year. Both parents are from South Carolina, by the way. Danny Strong and Allison Feaster. So Raven's job is going to be overlooked now because of Gino acting like a child, a petulant child, a punk. And some other things I would say, I'll say off camera. Joyce's accomplishment. Tessa Johnson even played one of her better defensive games. Agot McGear, Gotti, she's next up, right? Joyce is a star. Joyce is All-American. She comes back with 2 more years. McKeer has 3 years. She's next up. She's a superstar in the making. Fearless, two-way player. She had so a lot of that's gonna be covered up by Gino and like an absolute punk. And I'll stop there because it's on camera. But I got a whole string of things I can call Gino, and I think I'm giving him the same respect he gave Don. He may never hear this, but I want to join the chorus of people who are yelling out about how he acted. But props to the Gamecocks for pulling it off. We got a tough game against UCLA in the finals tomorrow. Happy Easter, everyone, by the way. But it's going to be a tough matchup. But 6 straight Final Fours for Don. 3rd straight national championship game. It's dynastic stuff, man. Greatest coaching job Don has ever done was this year. The adjustment she had to make. Players injured during the season. Latson went out for a while. McKeer was out for a while. Right? Blended in, McDowell after match. Maddie was suspended for a minute earlier this season, right? A lot going on. And here they are, championship game again, right? Props to the Gamecocks. Dawn Staley, making basketball great again. If you know, you know. Y'all have a good one.